welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing grilled pork. Essentially, this particular protein is very versatile in the Vietnamese cuisine. You can eat it with rice, you can eat it with vermicelli, which is a thin rice noodle. You can also eat it with bread, a baguette, and it's called a banh mi. Today we're going to be doing my version of grilled pork, which is using the TVP, which is textured veggie protein. I don't have a bag to show you. I'll try to link one below on Amazon, hopefully they have it. But I transfer it over to a container whenever I get it because they come in pretty big bags. And basically this is dehydrated. It's kind of like if you eat a lot of Chinese, Vietnamese, vegetarian dishes, you're probably going to be working a lot with shiitake mushrooms. Same concept. Dried, you soak it in water for about half an hour and it becomes a little bit squishy. You squeeze out all the water and you can actually use it for pretty much anything. TVP is essentially like tofu in that it doesn't really have a flavor of its own, but it is more tough and chewy than tofu itself. So basically what we're gonna do is, it's a step process. You're gonna take a bowl, now because it is kind of like a lengthy process, not lengthy, but it's not going to be like your 10-minute meals, I like to prep more so that I have it readily available. Because this, once it's prepped, which is a process in and of itself, you can freeze it and then take it out and then you can marinate it in just about anything you want as you go along, right? So I'm going to start fresh, so this is going to be just 3 or 4 cups of TVP, and you just want to coat the top with hot water. I already have boiling water here. And then what I like to do is I just like to push another bowl on top of it just to make sure that everything is submerged. That'll do. Good. And I just let it sit there for half an hour. Usually I let it sit for as long as it takes me to prep everything else, which in this case is just the marinade and the onion. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and put that aside. Okay, and then so now that we have that soaking over there, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the onion. Can I use this like this? Because it's gonna be roasted with the TV. I'm just gonna get some flavor. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this aside. This goes together with everything else. And now I'm gonna do the marinade. Okay, so now we're gonna make the sauce. The sauce is pretty much, or it's gonna be pretty easy. You don't really need too much stuff. So I'm gonna start off with a spoon. Okay, spoon. So you're going to take 1 clove of garlic, mince that, right? I already did that because that's a process for me. And then you're gonna do I'm gonna say half a teaspoon, no, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger, right? Okay, you're going to add a cup of water. Okay, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Kind of say that looks about right. We're gonna do 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can also use honey for a couple of tablespoons of these. So say you want to do 5 tablespoons of sugar, maybe 1 tablespoon of honey. I don't actually use honey, so we're just gonna do 6. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 of it. Good. Yeah, baby. Alright. I'm going to assume this is a teaspoon, but let me get it out just a minute. Which one is a teaspoon? This one's a teaspoon. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so you're going to do a teaspoon of sesame oil. And then I like to add in sesame seeds. You don't have to. Roughly a teaspoon, I guess. Okay, and then you just mix everything up. And I know you're gonna say that this is super watered down, how could this be teriyaki sauce, but we're actually gonna cook it and add in cornstarch. Okay guys, here I just have the sauce that we just made. I put it into a saucepan and I'm just gonna let it go ahead and get to a boil. In the meantime, you want to go ahead and mix 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with cold water. Make sure that the cornstarch is fully dissolved into the water. And we're just going to go ahead and let that boil. Once it boils, we'll pour it in. So now that this is starting to boil, I'm going to go ahead and pour in the cornstarch. Okay, and then you return that to a boil. And that'll be ready in just a bit. Once it cools down, the sauce will thicken, so you don't have to worry about the consistency of it right now. Okay, so now that everything's set, we're gonna go ahead and drain the TVP that's already been soaked. Yeah.
What's cracking? Oh, you mix an apple into it? Okay, you guys hear that? You mix an apple into it.
Hot water. Lost all temperature control feeling. This hand still gets like hot. It's like, oh, it's hot.
So your right hand.
This hand's like red and doesn't feel anything.
So what you're saying is your right hand's attached to your soul.
Wow. My mother is going to watch this.
Aren't you gonna pour this? Yeah, I'm so sorry. Skip this part.
By the way, guys, the voice that you hear that's making fun of me is my husband. Say hi.
Hello.
Alrighty, so after all of these have been squeezed, you're gonna go ahead and cook it further. And I'll show you what you do next. Okay, here comes the second process. You're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of oil. Teaspoon? 1 teaspoon? 1 tablespoon? Turn the heat up to medium-high. And then when the pot is hot, you're gonna go ahead and saute about 2 stars of star anise, right? you're going to notice the aroma come up. Okay, so once it becomes pretty fragrant, you're gonna go ahead and add in 1 can, so it's 14.15 ounces of vegetable broth, right? And then at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and fish out the star anise so that it doesn't, you don't get like that burnt flavor. Ooh. Ooh. This has served its purpose. Thank you. And you can actually wait if you want to. It just depends on how strong you want the flavor. I like it just to have the smell in it, not so much the taste of it. And then you're going to add in a cup of water. Okay, and then you remember the TVP? We're going to go ahead and put it in there. All in. And you just cook this for about 15 minutes. And you're just going to let it soak in all of the vegetable broth. Yep. Okay, so if you notice, I turned it on to low, so it's just boiling. And I just let it cook in the flavors. The vegetable broth. Whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I went ahead and drained this. Just drained it. And then we're gonna go ahead and start the process. So, I'm gonna say about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That looks about like 2. Yeah. Keep it on medium. Okay, first thing you're gonna do is saute the onions. Okay, and around the same time, you can go ahead and add in the TVP. And let that all saute together. Okay, so once you start to see it kind of brown a little bit, this is a good time for you to ladle in the sauce, the teriyaki sauce. So this is the teriyaki sauce that we made, yeah? The color. And all I'm gonna do is pour maybe half of it over it. See where I'm at? And okay, so I do want it sauced, like not swimming in it, but properly sauced, because we're gonna take this and we're going to place it on a pan as soon as it starts to caramelize a little bit. Okay? Caramelize it. Chicken. Okay, around the time where I stop seeing too much liquid in here, I'll go ahead and start to preheat my oven. You're going to preheat it or set it to 400. Okay, so once you start to see all of the liquid evaporated, we can go ahead and transfer this onto a baking sheet, okay? Okay, so now that we have that ready, we're gonna go ahead and start the baking process. So I use non-stick cooking spray. Coat my sheet pan. And then you're just gonna take this and put it on here. Have it in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and toss this into the oven. Bake for 10 minutes, flip, and then bake for another 10 minutes. Yeah?
Alright guys, so this is what it looks like straight out of the oven.
Alright, so for today's dinner, my husband requested bread instead of baguette. So I have a baguette. I've already spread the just mayo on it. I'm gonna go ahead and layer in the TVP. My husband is a big fan of onions, so we're gonna go ahead and put in my grilled onions for him. And then we're gonna add some cucumbers. Maybe one. And some pickled jicama and carrots. And there you go. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below how you like to eat the grilled pork. If you guys actually do make it, please tag me in it. I'd love to see it. And if you guys have any requests, leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.